Alrighty everybody, we're back, and as you can see here, our canvas is dry, and we're going to be varnishing today. Our second one is here, but we're going to do the first one that we did, and what I have here is just a sponge, and we're going to be using the soft side. We don't want to use this side because it'll scratch the canvas up, and it's just got water and dish soap on it. Not too hard, and we're just gonna do circular motion here. And this is just gonna clean the silicone off so we can varnish without having any problems, because the varnish won't stick if you still have silicone on your canvas. So we're just gonna clean the canvases, and you can squeeze the water on and it'll get a little bit foamy, which is good. That means it's getting everything off. And we're going to repeat the process that I'm going to show you about 3 to 4 times. And you want to make sure you get the sides too. So we'll do that. Don't want to miss anything. So now we're going to take... Oh, I forgot to put my gloves on. Let me do that real quick. Slap these babies on. I haven't worn gloves before, so that's why I didn't remember to put them on. Alright, so now we're going to take just a towel. It doesn't have to be wet. And we're just going to wipe it off. Make sure everything's off. Get it all off the sides. There we go. And make sure you get the corners, because those are always kind of difficult for some reason. And now we're going to go back in with our sponge. And I just have a little bowl of water here to make this easy, just to get it dip in there, and then it'll be nice and wet so we can get our canvas all clean. You can do this by the sink too. That'd make it real easy. Just have to turn the faucet on to get the water. We're just going to do about 2 more times like this, and then it should be good, hopefully. And yeah, hopefully I'm keeping everything in frame here. I should have made a marker, but that's alright. And we'll take our towel again. I'm just going to wipe this all off. And you don't want to press too hard, but you want to make sure there's enough pressure to get all the soap off. And let me just readjust here. There we go. Get all the sides. Smacking things with the towel now. And we're going to do this once more for sure, just to make sure we got everything off. Squeeze the water on there. Get it all nice and foamy. And if you guys have any suggestions on what you want me to try next, what you want to see more of, I know for sure I will be doing some videos on how to do jewelry with the leftover paint. We'll be using the photo paper that we used or did in the first video, first and second video, and we'll make some really pretty bezels, and I'll show you all how to do that. And I've had quite the learning process with that, so it'll be fun to see it actually come together now, because the past few times I've tried, I didn't do it quite right, but I think I've got it now. I think I've got it down enough to where we can film it and get it right. Switch back to our towel. Just gonna wipe this all off. And you can see it disappear as you wipe. And once it's all gone, you know you're good. And if you can still see spots where it's more shiny than other spots, that means you still have silicone on there. So that's just a good rule of thumb. If you still see shiny spots, then yeah, you just want to keep washing it until all those spots where it's shiny in some and not others. You want to make sure all that's gone, because that's just all the silicone there on the surface. And I think one more layer should be good. I'm just going to dip my sponge in the water again. Get that all on there. Get this nice and foamy, because that means the dish soap is working. And it's just Dawn dish soap. I'm sorry, I'm moving the canvas around quite a bit. Any dish soap will do. I'm using Dawn dish soap. I don't know any of the specifics on it, because I know there's probably 50 billion different Dawn dish soaps. Ooh, moving the canvas again. Try and hold this a little bit steady. Make sure we get those edges. There we go, get all that foam on there. Oops, I just threw that on some of my other canvases. That's alright, I'll wipe that off in a minute when we're done. Oops, throwing more soap. That's good though, that means we're getting everything off. Alrighty, come back to our towel. Just wipe this all off. Oops, moving the canvas again. Next time I'll put some markers down so I know what's in frame and what's out of frame. So that way I'm not messing this up and not letting you guys see everything. Okay, well that's odd. Never had this happen before, but paint is actually peeling off the edge right here. It's no biggie though. We can just touch that up with some Mars Black. Alright. Make sure everything's off the side. There we go. And there's soap all over my hands, so gotta get that side. There we go. So now our canvas is nice and clean. While this is drying, we're gonna switch it with this wood panel. And one of the pins came out of the back here, so we're just gonna repin it. There we go. And I haven't used a wood panel for acrylic pouring before, so we're going to see how this works. We're going to see if this absorbs the water, if it comes off, because that would be terrible, but we'd be learning not to wash the canvases, the wood panels like this. I'm going to be trying to get some art resin soon. Get some more water here. So I can do some videos on resin. And the first resin video I'll be doing will probably be on how to do a geode. because I've had a lot of requests to do those, and I think they're really cool, so we're going to be doing that. And I couldn't find any raw quartz crystals or anything like that, and I saw, I can link the channel in the description box. I can't remember the name right now, but she does all sorts of acrylic pouring and resin, and she used like the little tiny glass pebbles that you can buy at Michael's or Hobby Lobby or anywhere like that, and she used the temperature shock when she boiled them in water and then dipped them in some ice water. They fractured internally, so all you have to do is tap them with a hammer and they look just like crystals. So I'll have a full process video on that too, and we'll try to make a geode. And then I don't know what else will be coming up besides more acrylic pouring and resin, and then the jewelry. If you guys want to see something specific, make sure to let me know in the comments, or you can email me. You can find my email on my Instagram page, or you could direct message me on Instagram too. That works. So yeah, sorry, oh, that pin just fell out again. I know I've got this out of view, but I gotta get all the sides cleaned. There we go. Slide this back over just a little bit so you guys can see this. And I'm gonna get a little bit more wire on here, because you definitely want to have your sponge wet enough to just slide across the surface. And you can do big circles or little circles. Little circles would probably get more off. I like to just change it every time. Just do back and forth or circular. You can do up and down and then side to side if you want. You really just want to make sure you're getting that silicone off. Get a little bit more of the soap on there. And I think this is the second time with the wood panel. And after this, we'll see if there's still a lot of silicone left. And if there is, we'll do it 1 or 2 more times. And I'm sure this isn't the most entertaining process, but it's the process. And I will probably be wearing gloves from now on, just so I don't make a mess of everything. Which gloves would probably help a lot when doing acrylic pouring, because it gets quite messy, as I'm sure you all know. Alrighty. And actually it looks pretty good. I see a few spots that need cleaning. Just a few, so we'll do that one more time. And you know, I'm just going to pour a little bit of this water on here because that sponge does not want to soak it up out of the bowl. Get a little bit more on here. Actually, here, we're going to try this. We're just going to pour the water onto the sponge. There we go. Now it's soaking it up. And I'm just going to put, this is just a little bowl of dish soap too, and I'm just going to put a little dab on there to make sure we have enough. There we go. saw on the edges, that's where it looked like there was most silicone left. So we're going to get those real good here. We're just going to do a circular pattern all the way around. And then we're just going to go back and forth like this. And then we'll get the entire thing. Oh boy, all this soap is reminding me of the time I was washing a crock pot for my mom, and I just had so much fun washing it because I made such a mess with all the bubbles. It was all over the kitchen. I really like the colors that I used in this. We'll probably have to use those again. Oh, that's something that you guys could comment on. What colors do you want to see more of? What do you want to see? What kind of color palettes? I really like the teals and stuff like that. Those are pretty nice in my opinion. But I'm definitely willing to try any colors that you guys want to see together. And that looks like it's it. There we go. And we'll be back in just a minute. We have to let these dry before we can varnish them. Otherwise, it won't stick because we just soaked it with water. So we'll be back in a minute. Alright, our canvases are dry now. I know I said we'd be back in a few minutes. I had a change of plan. Now it's a few hours later. But that's alright. It just ensures that our canvases are dry. So what I'm going to do now is I don't really have a reason for this. I started doing it because I saw other YouTubers and other people who did acrylic pours wipe their canvases down before with 91% isopropyl alcohol. Maybe not 91% necessarily, but I saw that they were wiping it down with rubbing alcohol. So I started doing it too. And I don't know what the real reason is for it, but it's a preparation thing, and now I just do it on all the canvases. And I haven't had a problem, so I'm going to keep doing it until I have a problem. And you'll see a little bit of bleeding, but it's really no problem at all. And we just want to make sure we get the sides too. And I hope I can keep everything in frame for you guys. I kind of had some guides here with my torch and my butane that I almost just knocked over. Alright, so now we're going to take the dry side of our paper towel and we're just going to wipe it off just to make sure that's all dried off. Make sure this is straight for you guys. I have no idea what that noise just was. I think it's a dog, but I'm not positive. And I don't use I apologize for that dog. You must be very happy outside right now. I use a foam brush instead of a varnishing brush or anything like that. I find that this leaves the least amount of marks in the varnish. I almost said resin. And I'm just using, let me read this first, Liquitex Professional's Gloss Varnish. Hopefully that's in frame for you guys. And so before I was using a mixture of this gloss varnish and the brand Golden's gloss varnish, and I found that that made a really good combo, and I couldn't find more of that golden gloss varnish, so we're gonna just have to use what we got. And this stuff still works perfectly fine. I just liked the consistency better when I mixed it. A 50-50 ratio between the gloss golden and the Liquitex gloss. And I can see there's a little bit of brush strokes here. And if you have that going on, I just add on a little bit more and spread it out. When you have the right amount, it shouldn't leave too many brush strokes. I can't speak today, and I think I just stroked that one spot about 80 times. Alright, and you just want to use the weight of the brush just to lightly drag across. And it appears that this is already dry over here, but that's alright, we'll just go over it. And I can see a little bit of separating from where the silicone was on this, which is alright, it'll get covered up in the next layer. But I'm just going to add on a little bit more onto this side, and we're going to drag it this way. We're just going to keep dragging it until it's even all the way across. And I'm going to put a little bit on this side because, once again, it gets dry pretty quick. So we're just going to, and now we're going to go across this way. And we're going to try and do this pretty quick because the stuff dries fast. So we'll just get this done quickly. And now we're going to just use the angled part of the brush right here. I'm not sure if you guys can see that angle. We're just going to use that, and we're just going to run that along the sides just to get everything covered. Make sure you get those four corner folds. Man, I cannot talk today. And we're just going to run it along the edge. Get that corner fold. Run it along the side. Get that corner fold. Run it along the side. And you kind of want to get right on the edge, because there's a spot on these canvases right where the roll starts. I almost said resin again. The varnish tends to pile up just a little bit, so you want to make sure you get that covered. And looks like that's pretty good. So now we're going to take our torch. This is a well, actually I can't see the label on this because I have it covered in paint, but I think this is a souffle torch. I think that's what it's called. It's for burning like the sugar on top of the whipped cream stuff or something like that. I don't really know. It's just a little butane torch. Whoa, that was a big flame. And we're just going to go lightly from pretty high up just to pop any air bubbles that you may see. And I'm not sure if you guys are picking it up on the camera there, but I can definitely see some stuff popping, which is what we want. We don't want any air bubbles. And if there are a few big ones that aren't willing to pop from the torch, you don't want to keep torching it because it'll dry it out and it'll just dry weird, and I've had that happen before, and that's definitely not what you want. So we're going to switch canvases now. Since we're done with this one, I'm going to slide this one forward, out of view, there we go, and we're going to slide this one in, just like that. And now we're just going to repeat the same process, wipe it down with alcohol, make sure there's no varnish on my gloves. That would be bad. You don't want to get varnish mixed with the alcohol and then wipe the entire thing down with that. That'd be terrible, because I don't think alcohol and varnish are going to mix well and make a pretty color. They probably make our canvas real cloudy. And this is the leftover paint pour. This is video number 2. And I have alcohol all over my gloves. Alright, we're just going to wipe this down. And if you notice, it starts to get like sticky to the canvas. Get a little bit more alcohol on your paper towel, or a rag will do. And we're just going to get a little bit more on here since mine's getting a little bit sticky. I'm just going to wipe it all down. Man, I think I ran out of alcohol again. This stuff dries out fast. And I'm just going to wipe the sides. Alrighty, I'm just going to lift this up so I don't drag the cloth in the varnish. And once again, you can see a little bit of bleeding, but it's really not that big of a deal. It doesn't affect the colors or anything like that. And we're just going to use the dry side and just make sure it's all dry, wipe it off, have a little bit of fun, do some circles. Alright, where'd my cap go? Oh, there's the cap for my alcohol. I promise I have not been drinking alcohol. Alright, now we're going to take our varnish again. Just going to put a little bit in the middle to start with. And we're going to take our brush, just spread it out. And this is my first time using a wood panel for acrylic pouring, a cradled wood panel. So we'll see how this turns out. I think it'll be just fine. It should be. I've seen many other people use wood panels for pouring. And yeah, hopefully this turns out real nice because both these pours actually turned out fantastic. I love the way these turned out. Which is good, you know, you want to start out strong. And we're just gonna do all the way across, try and go as straight as you can. It's no big deal if you don't go straight, but it just helps to know which direction you're going. And it looks like there's a little bit of a build-up here, so we're just gonna take that down. There we go. And I'm hopefully not getting my head in the way here. Just gonna go along this edge here. Make sure we got everything. Go along all these edges. Oop, missed a spot. Alright, here we go. And the good thing about this sponge brush thing, don't even remember what it's called. Foam brush, there we go. I remembered, it's okay. The great thing about it is it soaks up the varnish. So you don't have to squirt out more every time, you can just smush the brush and more will come out. It's like magic. And we're just gonna finish up these edges, make sure everything's nice and covered. And, oh, don't want all those bubbles on there. Now we'll take our torch again. Hopefully it's not gonna spit out flames this time. There we go. Just make sure we got everything popped. Don't want to leave this in any spot too long, especially with the varnish. It dries out really fast. And that's it. Now we're just going to take our finger and we're just going to run it along the bottom edge, just to make sure that there's no drips, because you can take the drips off with a hot knife or anything like that, but it's easier just to get it off now. And I feel something down here. Just make sure it's all gone. Okay. And I'll do the other one off camera so I don't have to switch canvases and reach around and do all that stuff. But that's the end of it. I think I'll make another video on doing the second layer, maybe. I don't know. It might be kind of boring because it's just doing the same thing. But I will have finished pictures on my Instagram at BeyondAcrylicArt. And if you like my art, if you want to support me, check out my Etsy shop at BeyondAcrylicArt. I know it's really hard. Everything I have is BeyondAcrylicArt. But that's it. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.